Year 9, hope you are well. This pre-recorded lesson is going to talk through the more branching lesson from Python. Okay, so let's just get cracking straight into it. So what I'm going to do, I'm basically going to go over the last thing you should have done in your previous lesson through the Oak Academy website, through the lesson. And the last task was people in space. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk through this program and how you go about doing it in Python and cover some main bits, okay? So the first thing it said was to open this Python program and extend it so that it asks you to guess the number of people currently in space. So let's have a look at the program as it is. So this first line here, that what it does, that imports a special module from Python. You haven't got to worry about that, okay? Here we have a variable called number, and that's going to store this thing here, people. It just takes the number of people in space, okay, and generates a number. And remember that equals, it's an assignment statement. It means take what's to the right and assign it to the variable on the left, okay? And then here we have print and says there are, then it calls, it takes the data from the variable number, people in space now. So you can see I've already run it once, but let's run it again. Excuse me. It says there are 7 people in space now. Okay, it shows the string there are. Then it takes the data from the number variable, which is 7 people in space now. Okay, let's go back to what it's asked us to do. Excuse me. So the program displays a prompt. How many people do you think are in space right now? So what I'm going to do now is copy that and start that up. And I'm going to put that here. Print. Okay. What we need to do then is we need to have a variable for their guess. So I'm going to say guess input by the user. Okay. Now, some of you might remember that int means integer. Okay, in other words, when we type in our number, we need to force the program to say this is a number. If we don't put that, it treats it as like a symbol, so it can't do it. Okay, so types in user, okay, and then the program displays the correct number of people. So if I was to run this, let's just run it. Oh, what have I done there? Guess equals int input. Oh, okay, sorry, ignore me. I've done an extra bracket. Okay. Let's run that again. Oh, what's wrong with it? Oh, see, it's been that long, over half time, I've completely forgotten how to program. So the syntax should be like that. Okay, right, that's better. So little things there, like putting your brackets in the wrong place, make a big difference. The computer says no. It's like, oh, no, okay, we've got to follow the rules of the language. It's a syntax error. And if you remember, if you're doing a function or anything with purple writing, you have to follow it by something in brackets. So print, open bracket, close bracket. Input, I never open the bracket, close bracket. Okay, let's try that one more time, see if I got it right. Okay, that's better. Let's say I imagine there's 3 in space. It says, oh, there are 7 people in space now. Okay, so that's that first bit. So what we've got here, we have a variable called number, which is going to store the actual number of people in space. That's what that function does. Then I've got my guess, which is going to store my guess. We can see we cast it as an integer. And then it tells us how many people are actually in space right now. Let's go back to the program. Excuse me. So I've done that bit. So some tips. Don't delete or modify any of the existing program statements. Okay. Introduce a variable called guess. That's what I did, didn't I? Yeah. Don't forget the guess should be an integer. Yes, I've done that. Before you proceed to the next step, make sure you run your program, verify there are no errors. We've done that, okay? And I encountered some errors along the way. So extend the program so it compares the number of people in space with the user's guess and displays an appropriate message. The next 3 slides show example inputs and outputs. Okay, so the idea, it says how many people in space right now. We type in our reply. And then it'll tell us that's right, okay, and 8 people in space right now. Let's have a look at the next few slides. Okay, another example. So if we type in 5, it says it's actually more than that. Okay. Another example is actually fewer than 9. Okay, right then. So tip, there are 3 branches, so use multi-branch if, elif, and else. Use the 2 equals to compare 2 values that are equal, and use the less than or greater than if the value is less or greater than another. Okay, so let's have a look. So what we need to do here is after our guess, well, let's see if they get it right. So if they get it right, we do if our guess is equal to number. Okay, look at those 2 equals. That is a comparison. If we did 1 equals, that would be an assignment statement. It will try and put the value from number into guess. Okay, this is comparing what's in the variable guess and what's in the variable number. Okay, if it matches, don't forget the colon at the end. So in other words, if it evaluates true, if it's correct, what do we want it to say if they're correct? Let's have a look. That's right. I want to say that's right. So print. That's right. There we go. That's right. Brilliant. Look how it is indented. In other words, if it's not indented, it carries on as normal. Excuse me. Okay. So what's the next thing we need to happen? Okay. So if they put in 5, it's actually more than that. Okay, so what we need to do then is do what's called an elif, an else if. So elif, the guess, if the guess is less than the number, okay? So in other words, if the guess is less than the number, so if we guess, we need to say it's actually more than that. So print really more than that. Okay, and then the last one is it's actually fewer than that, so we're doing else. Actually fewer than that. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got 3 different conditions. So first of all, if we get it right, if the guess equals the number, that evaluates as true, and then it's going to say that's right, and it's going to move on and then say there are that many people in space right now. Okay, let's say we've guessed 4. Okay, in other words, it's going to check this. Okay, if it evaluates as false, so if 4 isn't equal to that, it does the next condition. It checks to see if it's less than that number. It says it's actually more than that. And then also, let's say we put in 10, which is greater than 7. It's not going to meet that condition. So it moves on to the next one. It's not going to meet that condition. So then automatically does that. Okay, let's see if it works. So run. So let's get it right. Let's say 7. That's right, there's 7 people in space now. Brilliant. Okay, let's run it again with something less than 7. Let's say 6. Oh, it's actually more than that. There's 7 people in space now. And let's do one, let's say 34. It's actually fewer than that. There are 7 people in space now. Okay, it's quite an easy concept. The difficulty when you're using Python is learning that syntax. And let's say you make a little mistake and forget a colon like that. Okay, it won't actually like that at all. It's missing a colon. Or let's say you forget closing your speech marks and stuff like that. And all of this, it's frustrating. And you think, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. It's going to come with practice. So don't worry if you get loads of red text. The key thing is you're looking at this and it kind of makes sense as you go through. Okay, so I've done that. Brilliant. Okay, so we've done that. We've done that. Okay, we've done that. Right then. So this is showing selection. Now, let's say we wanted the person to keep on guessing, okay, until they get it right. So I'm going to adapt this to include some type of iteration, in other words, looping, repetition. Okay, so in the video with Rebecca Frank, she talked about using a while loop. Okay, and a while loop means it's going to keep on doing things until a condition is being met, or whilst a condition is being met. So what we want to do is we wanted to keep them guessing until they get it right. So I'm going to have while guess so what that means is the condition is while the guess is not equal to number. So in other words, if you get it wrong, okay, what we need to do this. I'm going to adapt this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to put an if function inside. So bear with me a second. Let's get this all sorted. Let's get our indents sorted. Doing this very quickly, I do apologise. Okay, so hopefully this is going to work. So what we've got here, we put in our guess, and let's say we put in it as correct as 7. While guess is not equal to number. Now, if I get the guess right, it doesn't meet that condition, okay? And then it's going to go down and we can say print. So what we want to do is we only want to go into this loop if we get it wrong. So if the guess is not equal to, let's say we put in 3, it's going to check to see if that guess is less than number. It says less than that, okay? And then it's going to say, or if it's bigger than that, it's going to say it's fewer than that. And then it's going to ask us to put in our guess again, okay? So let's run that and see what happens. Let's get it right first of all. Let's say 7. Yay, there's 7 people in space now. Let's run it again and let's get it wrong. Let's say we put 6. Oh, it's actually more than that. Let's guess again. Let's say 9. Oh, it's less than that. Okay, so it's got to be more than 6, but less than 9. Let's go for 8. Oh, it's actually fewer than that. Let's get it right with 7. That's right. There's 7 people in space now. Okay, so this is something called iteration, okay, or looping. Okay, and it's condition controlled iteration. It loops whilst a condition is being met, and the condition is whilst our guess is wrong, is not equal to. Okay, and allows us to keep on guessing until we get it right. And that's really important. With a loop like this, you have the ability to type in your guess again. Okay, if you look, you put your guess before the loop. Okay. And if it doesn't meet that condition, it goes through the loop and asks us to guess again. Okay, it's like saying, always think of it like imagine I've got like a 5-year-old child. Daddy, can I have an ice cream? No. Daddy, can I have an ice cream? No. At the moment, she doesn't understand the word no. And the child will keep on asking until the parent says, yes. Can I have an ice cream? No. Can I have an ice cream? No. Can I have an ice cream? No. Asking, oh, yes, go on then. In her head, she's doing a while loop. While Daddy says no, I'm going to keep on asking until he says yes. Okay, and that's kind of how it's like condition controlled iteration. It can loop loads and loads of times. Okay, hopefully that should have cleared it up a little bit. That should reflect upon last lesson. What I need you to do now is to go away and can you please do the assignment set on Teams, okay, which have questions about selection and iteration. Okay, thanks for listening. If you have any questions, please email your computing teacher or myself and we can get back to you. So all the best, hope that's useful. Keep on practicing programming, even if you make loads of mistakes. Trust me, it's really, really satisfying when you can fix those mistakes and you can get it working. Okay, so thank you very much and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.